You're right guys, Gary aka Hopeless back again with another Faraway Seas miniature. Last time I painted Ysandres, the tiefling pirate captain. This time I'm painting her first mate, Charlemagne the bear. Fearsome, resolute, indomitable, Charlemagne is the most formidable of first mates. He's absolutely devoted to Ysandres, following her into any battle or adventure, no matter the danger. While she was hiding out in Gullet Cove, Charlemagne was running a small bookshop in Roby City, penning his memoirs. Since Ysandres returned to the sea, however, Charlemagne is always at Ysandres' side whenever things get ugly. As with Ysandres, I wanted to make his base a bit more exciting, a bit more piratey, so something that's not just a plain black base. Now, after a bit of effort, well, more effort than it took to get Ysandres off of the base, I managed to remove Charlemagne from his and trim down the connection to the base. And that only took 2 blades and a little bit of a blood sacrifice. With Charlemagne freed from his base, I tried to work out how I wanted his base to look. As I've said before, I do not plan these things. I tend to just go on the fly. Normally it works out okay. I figured to continue with the deck dock wooden plank theme and try to blend the treasure chest and sand into it somehow. I'll work it out at the end. Although, to be fair, straight away, I don't think this worked as well as I wanted it to, but, you know, live and learn. Grabbing the trusted coffee stirrers again, I measured out on each stick the rough width of the base. And strangely, without gluing my fingers together this time, I managed to attach the planks to the base. With the glue dry, out came the old snips, and the excess wood was trimmed off. I'm going to be thankful that I'm a glasses wearer. There was wood flying all over the place. So I think I will have to invest in some safety glasses in the future. Just remember, safety first, people. After a bit of sanding down the rough edges, I was ready to start painting. As I'm still experimenting with Vallejo's Express colour range, I wanted to see how it would look on plain wood. I think it came out well. Knew I wanted to try and blend the sand from the treasure chest to the base a bit better, so I figured I would use the AK Interactive Beach Sand terrain paste that I've had on my shelf for about a year now. But first I needed to make sure that I could try and match the colour. Eventually I landed on a mix of ivory and warm flesh. Like I said, I've had this tub for a while and I decided now was the time to use it. Just don't judge the texture tool, I'm a very messy person. I will admit, I was a bit surprised at how runny it was. I did stir it quite vigorously with a bigger wooden stirrer. I've got a pot of ice cream sticks somewhere in the back. So I'm pretty sure it was as mixed as it could be. While the base was drying, I made a start on Charlemagne himself. I tried to at the start of this I decided I was going to do it in stages. But at some point I think I gave up with that and just started painting what I wanted, where I wanted, and when I wanted. The idea was to focus on his fur first, then the clothing, and then the last few details. When I started on his bag, I suddenly realised that he had a small squid tucked into it. While I was working on the levers, I realised he actually had a squid that was poking out of his bag. And I don't know why I didn't notice that before I primed it, but he looked really pissed off. Now, I either remembered or totally made up the fact that the brighter the colouring on a creature, the more deadly it is, so I wanted the squid to be bright. And for this I chose bright jade for the skin and tan flesh for the suckers. Also, what I had missed while I was priming, that on Charlemagne's back is 2 fish, and I got the crazy idea that I was going to use some colour shift paint from Green Stuff World. Again, I've had this for a while, I've just never got round to using it. And I'm also going to admit, this was a massive mistake, and I quickly regretted it afterwards. In preparation for this mistake, I grabbed and brushed on the gloss black from Vallejo paint. Now, I don't know whether it was because I was using a brush, or I put it on too thickly, or if the black gloss wasn't covering it properly, or I hadn't shook up the pot enough, but no matter what I did, it just would not come out with the effect I was looking for. I mean, it sort of worked, but it sort of looks more white than either pink or blue. Now, to cover up this mistake, I went back over it with silver. Applying a brown wash to the base, I tried to make the chest look like it had just been dumped on the dock with a pile of sand, and more like the sand had blown over the decking. Once the base bit was done, I simply added some black wash to the brown mix and went over the rest of the model. And with that, I sat back and admired my work. Once the wash had dried out, I thought it looked good. I did notice I forgot to clear out some wash from the eyes, or actually one of the eyes. It looks like he's either squinting or it's missing. But I think this actually makes him look a bit more battle damaged. On closer inspection of the photos, I can see that it looks like something reacted on the shirt when I went back over with the wash. So I'm not sure what this was, but maybe I just didn't leave it long enough to dry in between. Maybe I thinned it down too, or the paint. Maybe I thinned the paint too much, and the wash reactivated that. Yeah, so maybe leave it a little bit longer before applying the washes. That'll be what I'll try next time. In any case, this is Charlemagne, the pirate captain's first mate. What do you think? What would you have done differently? Or would you have done anything differently? Maybe you would not have cut yourself and ended up super gluing your thumb together because you couldn't find the plaster. I don't know. That's just me. It wouldn't be the first time I've super glued my hand back together after a nasty cut. To be fair, the last time was worse than that one. Anyway, if you did enjoy the video and want to see more, why not hit that subscribe button? As always, a like is helpful for the channel. But yeah, if you liked it, like it, sub, come back for more. As always, I am Gary, aka Hopeless. I hope to see you in the next video. So until then, see ya. Stop creaking.